Hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Zademan, DC, and Medical Director at North Florida Spine and Wellness. I want to thank you for your interest in Design Clinical Nutrition and want to give you a brief overview of what to expect from your first visit. So you may be asking yourself, what is Design Clinical Nutrition? Well, it is a multifaceted alternative healthcare system that aims to identify the underlying functional imbalances that are at the root cause of your symptoms. I imagine you, like most of our patients, have found that traditional allopathic medicine has failed to adequately address your problems. This isn't because traditional medicine is bad care. It is simply a crisis symptomatic-based model that uses pharmaceutical drugs to either mask symptoms or artificially drive various metabolic processes. A great example is blood pressure. Blood pressure medication doesn't fix high blood pressure. It only drives a process that lowers it artificially. Once you stop taking the medication, what happens? The blood pressure rises right back up. This is because this type of healthcare does not aim at correcting the subtle underlying functional imbalances that actually are at the root cause of many of people's symptoms. So what is different about Design Clinical Nutrition? What is it that we do differently? First of all, we use a combination of both alternative and traditional evaluation tools. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. If we just use the same old traditional tools as allopathic medicine, then we probably aren't going to get very different results. On the other hand, the traditional tools can also be very useful when we look at them in a functional context. So our approach focuses on 4 core areas of evaluation. Number 1, comprehensive timeline medical history. This is our first and maybe our most critical step into identifying the underlying causes to your complaints. During our consultation, we will review over 20 pages of medical history questions and information so we can get a clear picture of when your issues began and what potential triggers may have contributed to them along the way. Number 2, autonomic and functional neurological evaluation. The autonomic nervous system is the part of the nervous system that controls how the entire body operates. It has 2 major parts: the sympathetic, which is responsible for our fight and flight response, and parasympathetic, which is responsible for sleep, recovery, digestion, and more. Many times, imbalances between these systems will cause symptoms that range from digestive dysfunction, such as IBS and constipation, to immune dysregulation like inflammatory responses and autoimmune complaints. Because of the whole ranging impacts of the nervous system, we use tools such as heart rate variability and functional neurological evaluation tools to find the functional deficits in your nervous system that could be contributing to your symptoms. To put it in simpler terms, we look at both the body and the brain. Number 3, functional lab analysis. How many times have you been told that your blood work is normal but you feel anything but? How many times have you seen your lab values within normal but just barely there? These wide lab norms are mostly based off averages of the population, not based off optimal function. When we functionally analyze labs, we use functional patterns and optimal norms to identify subtle signs of organ system dysfunction and inflammation. Number 4, neurokinesiological testing. This is by far our most unique evaluation tool. It is based off the extensive research that our cells, along with all living and non-living things, give off unique energetic frequencies. This is the same concept behind how an MRI machine works, which uses a magnet to release these frequencies from our cells and form them into an image. We start by challenging the body at specific organ and meridian points that can indicate a potential dysfunction within an organ system. Once we identify which organ systems are likely dysfunctional, we use the energetic frequencies of potential causative factors, or what we call stressors. These stressors can range to environmental toxins, such as chemicals and metals, to food sensitivities and immune challenges, such as viruses, bacteria, fungus, and even parasites. Once we link these frequencies to organ dysfunction by evaluating the change of the neuromuscular reflexes, we can then use frequencies of herbal and other clinical nutrients to see what remedy is most likely to work for you and your unique problems. These findings are then compared and correlated to the functional blood analysis and other functional evaluation tools we mentioned previously. This allows us to give us the most in-depth and specific look at your unique health conditions. Once we compile this information, we will then have an in-depth review of your findings, and if we feel we can help you, a custom treatment plan and protocol to address the underlying cause of your health concerns. I'm excited that you've decided to take the next step to discovering the solutions to your healthcare concerns, and look forward to making Design Clinical Nutrition part of your healthcare journey.